This is Nightline.
Tonight, a daughter's emotional plea.
Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman.
Today's show host Savannah Guthrie and her siblings posting late tonight on Instagram a passionate appeal about their mother, missing since Saturday night and believed to have been forcibly taken from her home.
Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again.
Their desperate message to their mother's alleged captors.
We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen.
Our team is on the ground with the latest.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Just hours ago, Today's show host Savannah Guthrie and her siblings posting an emotional video on Instagram to their mother, who was last seen on Saturday and believed to have been forcibly taken from her home. That gut-wrenching video watched and rewatched by so many.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too.
Tonight, the anguished plea of a daughter begging for her mother, begging for mercy.
Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light.
Today's show anchor Savannah Guthrie sitting with her sister and brother in turmoil and tears as they pled for the return of their 84-year-old mother, Nancy, in an Instagram video called Bring Her Home.
Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
The most important thing about Savannah and her brother and sister's message is they did two really important things. They humanized their mother and talked in very kind, loving ways about her.
What the Guthries are trying to do in the use of their language is make the kidnappers look at Nancy as a person. If they can do that, the hope is that they can get some empathy and maybe protect her from some sort of violence or worse.
Law enforcement is back at Nancy Guthrie's home. A search canine on the scene with them tonight. It's been 4 days since Nancy went missing. Investigators believe she was abducted in the middle of the night.
We don't know where she is. She is very limited in her mobility, right? We know she didn't just walk out of there.
Investigators are looking into unverified ransom letters sent to several local TV stations, including the ABC affiliate Kayak, to determine if they're legitimate. Even TMZ discussing an email sent to them.
So we got something in our email that looks like it's written like a ransom note for Savannah Guthrie's mother.
Tonight, Savannah Guthrie using her voice, so familiar to millions of Americans, to try and get the attention of the alleged kidnappers.
We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us.
The tone of the video is obviously respectful. There's language in there. We want to talk to you. We want to listen to you. None of it is directing, like you must do this or ordering. You can see from the words, the tone, the look, the audience, the real intended audience for this video are the kidnappers.
Love you. We love you.
The 54-year-old NBC anchor has been headlining the network's morning show for 13 years and is known for her heartfelt interviews. Over the years, Nancy Guthrie has joined her daughter on the show.
Mama, great job. Love you. Love you.
Just 2 months ago, Savannah appeared with her mother from Tucson, where Nancy talked about why she stayed there all these years.
Just the air, the quality of life is laid back and gentle.
Guthrie is often seen hosting NBC's biggest event coverage, from the Thanksgiving Day parade to the Rockefeller tree lighting. This week, she was supposed to be in Milan for the kickoff of the Winter Olympics. Instead, she's in Arizona, praying for any sign of her mother.
She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
News of Nancy's disappearance quickly turned into a criminal investigation after investigators say the evidence left behind was clear.
We saw some things at the home that were concerning to us. We believe now, after we processed that crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime.
The FBI says it's reinforcing the efforts of local investigators, including sending a supervisor who will run a task force which handles hostage negotiation and technology. Currently, no subject or person of interest has been identified in the case. Audio from police radio traffic alerting all units to be on the lookout for Nancy.
Do we have a description yet of the subject? 84-year-old female, unknown clothes, not super mobile, possibly walking with a cane.
Well, one of the problems with any case is you're sort of dealt a hand as to what evidence and information is available. It doesn't strike me that they've been successful yet. They apparently haven't had any luck with surveillance video to get a picture. So with no car, with no video, and just as important, it appears no contact with whomever has taken Nancy.
Tonight, strangers are showing up at vigils across the country, praying for Nancy's safe return.
Welcome all of you who have come from the wider community for this vigil, for this time of prayer for Nancy and love for her daughters and family.
As the hours and days add up, Nancy Guthrie's family grows even more concerned since her kids say she does not have her medicine and has a fragile heart condition.
Obviously, the biggest exigent problem is you're talking about somebody that's elderly and has some pretty significant physical ailments. And it's two categories. Elderly and the very young are so vulnerable.
Law enforcement has said that Nancy is of sound mind, but that she has frail health and that she needs medication within a 24-hour period. They don't believe that she has her medication with her. So law enforcement is very, very worried. The truth is, this right now is a race against time.
Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
When we come back, we'll be joined by our team who's been on the ground in Tucson all week after the break. Welcome back. We're joined now by ABC's Trevor Ault, who's been in Tucson, Arizona, covering this story for us all week. Trevor, this is a heartbreaking message from the Guthrie family. What can you tell us about the mood on the ground there tonight?
I mean, Byron, I think the most common emotion that we're seeing is disbelief at how this story has been unfolding from the very beginning. A lot of people really expressing the sentiment that this isn't something that they really thought could happen, especially now with this most recent video from Savannah Guthrie and her siblings directly addressing a person who abducted their mother, saying that they would be ready to talk to try to make sure she can come home safely. The people on the ground here are, of course, devastated at the news as this is ongoing. Of course, there is a level of frustration as it stretches day after day after day. And there's also a level of resignation as well. This kind of reoccurring thing that I'm starting to notice where people are beginning to refer to Nancy Guthrie in the past tense. It's something that you cannot ignore, the reality of what has been an incredibly devastating story from the very beginning. When you go to the community where Nancy Guthrie lives, it's deep in the suburbs of Tucson to the north. It's an area they call the foothills, very suburban area, but it's also covered by desert wildlife. It means that there's a lot of homes that are kind of nestled in by cacti. There are plenty of people, though, who are out and about walking their dogs. It's a community that definitely skews toward the elderly, but they're all very mobile. They very clearly have relationships. You see neighbors talking to each other on the street, plenty of them who know Nancy Guthrie and speak of her only in the kindest of terms. When you think about those people being asked to review their cameras at home, to think about if they noticed anything unusual, it's very clear that this is not the kind of community where they are used to even considering that, and let alone any kind of abduction, kidnapping is extremely rare. But to have it happen to an 84-year-old woman, and not just happen, but then have it happen where it seems that law enforcement has no trace as to where she may be, no clue as to who the suspects might be, if there is one suspect or several, it is something that the people are, of course, grappling with, and they could be grappling with it for quite some time. But more than anything, Byron, it is disbelief watching this unfold.
Understandable. There seems to have been a clear shift today. The FBI increasing their presence. What do you make of that? What does that say to you?
Well, I think it says, number one, they are not willing to give up on this case, and nor should they, given the nature of the case and also the community outreach and how much interest there is in bringing Nancy Guthrie home safely, if possible. What I do think it also says is that they clearly believe that local law enforcement needed some help. That's what my sources with the FBI had said, that the sheriff's department here in town is still leading this investigation, but they clearly could use more resources. So the FBI really upping their footprint. They're also bringing in experts that's going to help them with some data recovery, help them with the technology of the cameras inside the home, and also potentially some hostage negotiation if it were to come to that. It says that they are not giving up on this case. I do also think that some of the effort at the scene today, where we saw investigators showing up from the sheriff's department and also from the FBI at the same time, I also suspect that part of that is to remind the community that they are not giving up on this case. When you have several days in a row of the sheriff coming out and say, we don't know where she is, we don't know who the suspect is, I think that that can be demoralizing for the community, and they might start to think, well, the investigators have no idea what is going on. I think that this also sends a message by going back out at the house, putting the crime scene tape back up. That does let people know, hey, we still are vigorously investigating this case. As we have heard, though, at least so far from investigators, it could be quite some time before they're able to locate Nancy Guthrie, because all indications so far, even though they've received hundreds of tips, they have not yet found one that could point to where she might be.
Trevor, thank you for your insight. And just a few more questions, if we may. There was early reporting about damage to a camera on the property. What do we know about that tonight?
Yes, so there's a lot of focus on the cameras inside the house. We know that very early on we were told that Nancy Guthrie had a number of cameras at her home. One of them they confirmed was on the front of the house, and it's missing. Now, it's not clear if that was there up until the night of what's believed to have been an abduction and it was taken then. It might have been missing before that and nobody seemed to notice, but it's something that investigators are looking into. And then, of course, you have the rest of the cameras where they are also running into some difficulty. The reason for that is they were not able to immediately retrieve the footage off of the cameras. In fact, I believe that some of that footage may have been immediately deleted, so they've had to go to the company that handles the surveillance. They're trying to use digital forensics to recover the video that may have been deleted. That is part of the FBI sending in those data experts to try to help out with the process, because you would think that could be the most direct evidence to point to what happened here and to point to who may still have Nancy Guthrie. The fact that they don't have that video, I know, is maddening to the sheriff. He has told me that directly, that he wishes he could just snap his fingers and have it. To our knowledge, they don't have it. We know as of yesterday, when they last gave a press conference update, they did not have it at the time, but they were still working to try to recover it. That could be the most crucial piece of evidence while we wait to figure out where Nancy Guthrie is.
Trevor, we'll get you out here on this. With the uptick in activity by law enforcement today, the statement from the family today, is there any sense that we're getting closer to a resolution at this point?
I think you have to hope for it. I don't think there is any direct indication from law enforcement that they are making progress, but we do know that these investigations, of course, play out in private. They could very well be making significant progress, and we just have not heard it yet. What I know is that they gave their last press conference yesterday, and the sheriff had said at the time that they wouldn't be updating anyone until Thursday to just answer general questions unless something big were to break in the case. And there have been no scheduled press conferences to update, meaning there has been nothing big that has been broken in this case so far. You cannot rule it out, though. What I do think that people also need to understand, though, is there's been a lot of focus on the supposed ransom notes that have been received. They were sent out to a number of television stations. And now we have Savannah Guthrie and her family addressing those ransom notes directly, speaking directly to a possible or any possible abductor, saying they would be willing to talk, but they would need more information. It is still very possible that those ransom notes are not real, or at least not officially tied to a person who may have abducted Linsey Guthrie. That is another horrible angle to this story, is that while this family, and you could see it on the video, is going through unimaginable anguish, there could also be people who are not affiliated with that crime who are trying to take advantage of this family at their weakest moments to try to get some money. The fact that they've addressed it, could it lend some credence to the fact that the ransom notes may be real? Yeah, it could. They may, in fact, be legitimate. At this point, it's not yet clear if they are. What we do know is that investigators have stressed from the beginning that if they are going to find Linsey Guthrie, they are going to need the help of the public. They have already received hundreds of tips. They say they're going to follow up on every single one of them. And they've been saying every single day, keep the tips coming. Any information that you might have, we want to hear about it and we want to look into it. They say they will continue to do that as long as it takes. We know there are more resources coming in. We know the FBI Director Kash Patel is even coming in. And now we're entering almost 5 days since Linsey Guthrie was believed to be abducted. So the interest in this case is not waning. I expect you are only going to see more law enforcement resources pouring in until they are able to solve this case. But it might not be solved anytime soon, Byron.
Trevor, thank you so much. We appreciate you. And we'll see you on GMA in the morning. Thank you. Thank you, Byron. The sheriff tonight urging anyone with information or video to call the Pima County Sheriff's Department at 520-351-4900. And a footnote to this story, if I may. Those of us fortunate to know the love of family can only have deep empathy for the Guthrie family and for all who know the power of prayer. That's what we will do tonight and every night, as the Word encourages us to do, without ceasing. We'll be right back with a story about the power of possibility. And finally tonight, a reminder miracles do happen and the strength of family is unmatched. It's the story of a brave 13-year-old boy. Austin Appleby enjoying some fun in the sun with his family in Australia when their beach day turned into a nightmare.
Yeah, I just said, all right, not today, not today, not today. I have to keep on going.
Austin, his mother, and two siblings on a kayak and paddleboards when the surf picked up and capsized the small boat. After trying to tow the others, Austin set out for the shore, swimming for, get this, 4 hours to get help.
He's absolutely amazing. Yeah, and his dad are super proud, so yes.
Not today. Wise words from a young boy. And that's Nightline for this evening. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Thanks for the company, America. Good night.